Hello YouTube, and in today's video we're going to have a look at this WowStick 1F Plus precision screwdriver along with an additional set of tools from WowStick and this wonderful small WowCase mini tool holder. I was kindly sent this by Banggood, and as you can see on their website, at the moment it is £44.77. That's with 40% off, and that includes delivery to the UK. Now this turned up to me within 8 days of ordering it, so I thought that was incredibly good. So we'll have a quick look through the kit and see what comes with it. So before looking at the actual screwdriver itself, let's look at the extra kit that you get with this. So we have this nice case here with WowStick emblazoned upon it. Open this up. So in here we have some tools really that are meant for phone repairs or laptop repairs or tablet, that kind of thing. So we have some double-ended pry tools for lifting cases apart. 3 different ones of those with slightly different ends on them, but I'm sure they'll come in useful for prying off supports from your 3D prints, or maybe helping in building your 3D printer. You get a plastic peg type thing, wouldn't quite know what you would call that. I suppose it's like a pry bar with a flat end on it there and then a pointed end on it there. Got 3 pairs of tweezers. These are described as anti-static tweezers. So you've got a pair there with a very flat end, useful for maybe pulling drivers off boards. Got a pair of very thin-nosed tweezers there, and a pair of tweezers with the side. They're quite useful for pulling filament out of the nozzle as you're about to print. If you get that little bit of extra filament running out, you can just slide those underneath the nozzle, grab the filament, pull it away. So they're a useful little thing to have. Also, there's a wooden handled soft brush, very soft brush. I can only really think that maybe if you were cleaning your circuit board, if it's got some, I don't know, bits of PLA on it or some dust or something, that would help to clean it. Maybe cleaning your fans out, cleaning the dust out of your fans, just push that in between the vanes of the fans and give them a clean out. I could see that being quite useful. Then we have another pry tool, useful for, I'm not sure what really, probably again in this scenario, probably useful for removing supports. I can't think of anything else really off the top of my head you would want that for, but it's in the kit and it could come in useful. Then we have this flexible bit holder, very useful if you're building kits, kit printers. You have an anti-static wristband, also very useful. And in here we have a small set of sockets which are incredibly useful if you're building anything like, for instance, I have built my model RC Land Rover. They would have come in incredibly useful for doing that. So you've got sizes M2.5, M3, M3.5, M4, M4.5 and M5. So they of course will fit into the end of there like that, and then that end will fit into your WowStick and you can go up. Also very useful for building printers, just easier than doing it by hand. So that all comes in this nice little sort of plasticky leather effect wallet, which keeps them all safe. So we'll put all those back in there. So that's a nice little addition. Like I say, some things will be more useful than others, but there'll come a time when you'll just need a thing for whatever, and you can think, oh yes, there they are, they're in my kit. So we'll put those all back in there. safely away. It'll probably be the only time they ever go back in the pouch, because I'm not good at keeping things in their original packaging, but I'm sure majority of you are. The knife back into there, and the brush back in there, and then that's in the wrong spot, so we'll move that down to there, that into there, and that into there. Roll that back up, 2 little pop studs like that and like that, and like I say, handy little pouch like that with your extra tools in. Now the other thing that came in the kit, apart from the main WowStick itself, was this little box, which intrigued me. No idea what it was, so we open it up, have a little look inside. Doesn't really look like much, does it, until you press the lid. And I'm guessing, I'm sure I'll find out, it's for holding your bits for your screwdriver. So you have it on your desk like that. So it's like a mini case, which is what it's called, a Wow Case Mini. So pop up like that, take the bit out that you need. Whether it'll come up any further, no, that's as far as it goes. Take the bit out that you need, and we pop it back down again. So a useful little thing, like I say, comes with the kit. Now we're on to the most important bit, the WowStick itself. Now a little bit of history about this. About a year ago, somebody put a tweet out asking people what their most useful tool was for 3D printing. And one of the people that replied was a guy called Tom Jackson. You may know him as Filament Frenzy. And he said the WowStick. Well, of course, if Tom's talking about it, it must be something decent. So everybody ran out. Everybody went onto Amazon or wherever, looked them up, saw what they were, and I actually bought one. The issue I have with is when I moved buildings, I now can't find it. So when Banggood said, we'd like to send you one to have a look at and see what you think, I thought brilliant, because it had been incredibly useful, and I've been running about using bits of Allen keys that come with kits and little screwdrivers and one thing or another, but to have everything back in one pack will be brilliant. So let's have a look, see what we get in the kit. Really nicely produced box. Slide it open like that. As you can see, everything is labelled with what it is, which is lovely. This says, I am a screw pad. So we open this up. Like I say, really nicely sort of all put together. Now this is a magnetic pad. So when you're taking something apart, or when you're building something, you have that on your work surface, and it is slightly magnetic. So if you put a screw on it that's actually a metal screw, which of course the one I go to use isn't, it will stick to it. Let's see if I can find something that is actually, there we go, so it doesn't roll away. So only really useful if you're using metal screws while an aluminium one. I have a whole load of screws in there, and they will all stick to that nicely, so while I'm building my kits I don't lose my screws all over my workbench. So that's a nice little thing, very useful. Next thing to come out of the box, it says I am case, so I guess this is the case that you keep it in. Again, really nicely packaged. Take this out of here. So it's what sort of, I suppose you would call a clamshell case, held together with magnets. So you'll get one set of screwdriver attachments in there and your screwdriver in there, and then that, like I say, stuck with magnets like that, so that just holds it nicely together. This one says I am a base. So this is basically a stand for your WowStick, which will sit on your nice clean desk. It's a very heavy sort of anodized finished metal stick which sits like that, and then your WowStick will sit in the top, so we'll leave that there for now. Next thing we'll take out the box. This is the little small toolbox. So what you get in here again is more things if you were working on mobile phones, that kind of thing. So you've got a small plastic sucker for pulling screens off mobile phones. Could also be useful if you're replacing the screen on your 3D printer, or I'm sure there are other uses that people will point out to me. We have a short USB cable, USB Type-C to USB Mini for recharging. A magnetizer and demagnetizer. A small plectrum or spudger for opening up cases. And a little glass jar containing a few screws. Don't know whether they're of regular sizes for mobile phones. They look to be M2s to me, but a useful little container even if you put your own screws into it. Now we look at the screwdriver attachments. We have 3 sets of these. So this is bit group X3. Now it says X3 on it. It gives you all the sizes and designs. So we've got these sort of triangular head, square head, security pin ones, and then Phillips, 2 Phillips sizes there, and a hex bit. So they're all in that one. So there's 16 screwdriver attachments in there. We go to X2. So in X2 we have some T's, so I guess they're torque bits from T3 up to T20. There are some gaps. It's basically T7, T8, T9, T10, T15, T20, and then the small ones are T2, T3, T4, T5 and T6. There's an H4.0, whatever on earth, I suppose that's a hex head, 4mm hex head there. Then there's your security ones there. I'm guessing by the fact they've got the white dot in the middle, so they're security torque bits. And then you've got your P2, P5 and P6, which are your star head ones. Some more security style ones there as well. I'll just take one of these out so you can see how they work. It says open at the bottom, so what you do is pull off the rubber cap like that and they slide out, so you can pick out whichever part you need off there, use it in your WowStick, then put it back in, slide it back into the tube, nice and safe like that. So we'll have a look at the X1. And in the X1 will be the more standard bits. So you've got your Phillips, absolutely tiny Phillips there, going up in sizes. So that's a Phillips 0000, and then a Phillips 000, and then the 00, and then the 0, then the 1, then the 2. So they're a good, very, very, very fine Phillips heads. And then you go up through the slot heads. So you've got the 1mm, the 1.5mm, the 2mm, the 2.5mm, the 3mm, 3.5 and the 4. And then we have some more hex heads. So we have a 0.7mm, a 0.9mm, a 1.3, a 1.5, a 2, a 2.5 and a 3. So that's all the bits that come in that kit. So the one thing left that we haven't looked at yet is the screwdriver itself. Let's open the box. Very nice anodized metal. It's got a rocker switch on it, so you've got reverse and forward. Your charger goes into there. That's a little charging light that shows you that it's actually charging. It also has a set of LEDs at the front, so you can see what you're trying to do or undo. Now this is set in such a way that it has a clutch on it, so if you want to use it manually, that's actually locked in place, so you can turn it like that to manually tighten or loosen. If it's too tight for the motor inside, for instance, you can loosen it manually, and then once it starts to loosen up, you can then use the electric motor to unscrew it all the way, or the other way around. You can tighten it up as far as it will tighten with the motor, and then tighten it a little bit further by hand should you feel the need. So that sit into the stand on your desk like so, or you can have it in your case like that. If you happen to be nipping around to a mate's house to help him build his machine, you put that in, you put the set of bits that you're going to require when you get there, put those in like that, close your lid, bang that in your pocket, you've got it with you. So let's see it in action. On the channel you will recognise this. This is my fully 3D printed 110 scale model of a Land Rover Defender 90. There's an awful lot of small screws and nuts in here, and I kind of wish that I'd had my WowStick when I was putting this together. So we'll just have a little look and see how it performs. We will see what we need out here. I'm imagining we're going to be looking at the hex heads for most of these. So if we slide the accessory tube up like that, the hex heads are down at the bottom. There we go. That's the right one for these wheels. So like I say, you can turn it by hand and loosen them off like so, or you can use the power. Let me slide that over before you can actually see what I'm doing. And we'll just bring that up slightly so you can actually see it. Okay, so we have the button there. So to loosen it, we'll go back that way. And out it comes. Now as you can see, this is as it's come to me. I've not charged it, it's just how it is. So it may be that it's not running at full power, but we'll just screw it back in, and that stops at that point. So then you can manually tighten it into position like that. We'll just undo and do up another one. It's quite a good amount of torque on there. Surprising how powerful that is. I think the battery's probably a little bit on the flat side. To give it its dues, it's not really meant for doing something as big as that. But as you can see, that's done really well. Screw back in there. Just a little tighten up by hand. Go to the middle one, which actually takes it off the axle. Like so, and then that will lift off like that. So yeah, it works very well. And like I say, if you're doing something like this, which is a very labour intensive kit with an awful lot of screws, I'll show you the differentials in a moment. You'll see just how many screws there are in there. This would have been a godsend rather than having to do it all by hand. So you can see, actually you can't see, under there, look, you've got them all the way around under here. Let me see if I can just slide you down and give you a closer look. A little zoom in, so unfortunately the picture quality isn't quite as good as I'd like it, but we'll persevere. We'll go to the extra kit that comes with it. We'll take out the flexible coupling. You'll fit that into there and that into there, and then in theory, although I now have the wrong size end on, so let's find the right size end because they're smaller. So that's the right size. Bob that into there, bob that into there, and this is a real test for it because I know how tight these are in here, and I don't think, to be honest with you, it's going to be able to cope. No, because they are absolutely tightened home with those. When I fitted them, I removed the wheel to get in, and I don't think without removing the wheel, let's remove the wheel, let's have a look, let's do this properly, let's just show what it's capable of doing. So we'll have the wheel off, which again you can't see because I'm zoomed in. I'll just zoom you out so you can see. So we'll take the wheel off like so. Nice time to get a text message on my phone. Put it onto there like that, and like I say, they are coming out beautifully. Go to that one that's in a lot harder. Set it going like that, and there we go. So if you've got some that are in a more difficult to reach place, like around the back here, rather than having to try and fight to get your screwdriver in, hopefully if it's not too tight, there we go, and out it comes. You'll have to trust me, that is coming out, and like that, back in. So like I said, this would have been an absolute godsend if I'd had this when I was actually building this kit. Unfortunately, I mislaid it in the move, so I've been without. Get that in there, and there we go. Let's see how tight that one is. Oh, that one's tight, but there we go. Beautiful. So yeah, fantastic piece of kit. Works very well. The addition of this flexible fitting, I think is going to come in useful for me, certainly, if I build any more of these kits. Get in there and get into that wheel arch and get that screw out. See, just, you couldn't do that with a normal handheld screwdriver, and if you tried to do it like that you would struggle. And also if you have one of those small power screwdrivers that you would pick up from any of your local hardware shops, you're not going to be able to get that into there. So this is coming to its own in a situation like that. Like I say, charges through USB, so a standard 5-volt charge. Its actual input voltage is 3.7 volts. It has 0.15 to 3 Newton meters of torque. It does approximately 200 revolutions a minute, and it's a lithium-ion battery. And just a nice piece of kit. So what you get in the main part of the kit, you get one screwdriver, 56 screwdriver bits, the pad, the magnetic pad, the tool case, the suction cup, the mounting screws. There's 10 mounting screws, which are those in those little jars, your USB cable, your triangular spudger, your dock, which is the metal thing there for sitting it on your desk, the magnetizer and demagnetizer, and your bits and pieces, like I say, plus all the extras you get in the kit, and that's all for the price of £44.77 shipped. Like I say, that's 40% discount at the moment, which I think is a good price. You can buy the actual WowStick on its own for cheaper. I will put links to Amazon in the UK for those if you're interested. but also a link to the Banggood one for the full kit. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you find this useful. Please remember that the links I will leave in the description are affiliate links, so although it costs you no more, it means I do get a little bit of money back, either from Banggood or from Amazon. From Amazon I just get a small payment. From Banggood, if they see that people are buying what I'm showing you, it means they'll send me more items in the future for me to review and show to you. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below. Don't forget the thumbs up. If you've felt that it wasn't a good video and you want to give it a thumbs down, by all means do so, but please explain in the comments below as to why, and we'll see if we can improve. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Take care. Happy printing.